whispers. I will probably whisper, but I'm just checking on my voice. So, probably I will whisper. I don't know what's better. So, I would like to read from not just this book, but like I will take something from, I will not from the beginning, but somewhere I will choose like this, and I will read something to you. I never read this book, you know, I don't know what's about. What's this? If it's good or not, if you know it, if you like it, if it's copyright. So, let's start, okay? Well, that's hard. It can be in his room in the tower if he wishes. He can put himself to bed and open his wrists. There can be nobody there but the priest if he wishes. She gasps. She didn't expect this. I am very still, watching them both. I did not think Edward would go so far. He looks at her, a stricken face. Mother, I am sorry for your loss. She is white. You will forgive him. You can see yourself. That I cannot. I command it. I am your mother. You will obey me. I am the king. He cannot oppose me. He must die. She rounds on me. This is your doing. I spread out my hands. George has killed himself, Lady Mother. You cannot blame me, nor Edward. He leaves the king. No choice. He is a traitor to our rule and a danger to us and our children. You know what must happen to claimants to the throne. This is the way of the House of York. She is silent. She walks to the window and leans her head against the thick glass. I look at her back and at the rigid set of her shoulders and wonder what it must be like to know that your son will die. I once promised her the pain of a mother who knows that she has lost her son. I see it now. I cannot bear it, she says, her voice strained with grief. This is my son, my dearest son. How can you take him from me? I would rather have died myself than see this day. This is my George, my most precious son. I cannot believe you would send him to his death. I am sorry, Edward says grimly, but I can see no way out of this but his death. He can choose the means. She confirms. You will not expose him to the headsman. He can choose the means, but he has to die. Edward says he has made it a matter of him or me. Of course he will have to die. She turns without another word and goes from the room. For a moment only, I am sorry for her. George, the fool, chooses a fool's death. He wants to be drowned in a barrel of wine, and Tony, my brother, comes from the Privy Council meeting to find me rocking in the chair in the nursery, my baby George in my arms, and wishing that it was all over, and my little prince namesake was dead and gone. You are trying to be funny. No, I think he is trying to be funny. What does he mean? I suppose what he says, he wants to be drowned in a barrel of wine. He really said that. He really means it. I have come from the Privy Council just now. He wants to drown in wine if he has to die. As such that I say, hating the thought of it. I suppose that is his joke against his brother. I raise my baby to my shoulder and stroke his back as if I would shield him from the cruelty of the world. I can think of worse ways to die, Anthony observes. I can think of better. I would rather be hanged than held down in wine. He shrugs his shoulders. Perhaps he thinks he can make a mock of Edward and of the death sentence. Perhaps he thinks he will force Edward to forgive him rather than execute his drunkards, and perhaps he thinks the church will protest and cause a delay and he will get away. Not this time, I say. His thoughts luck has run out. He might as well have a drunkard, and where will they do it? In his chamber at the Tower of London. I shudder. God forgive him, I say quietly. That is an awful way to die. The headsman does it, leaving his axe to one side but wearing his black mask over his face. He is a big man with strong big hands, and he takes his apprentice with him. The two of them roll a barrel of Malmsey wine into George's room, and George, the fool, makes a joke of it and laughs with his mouth open wide as if already gasping for air as his face bleaches white with fear. They lever open the lid and find a box for George to stand on so he can lean over the top of the barrel and see his frightened face reflected back at him in the sloping surface of the wine. The smell of it fills the room. mutters amen to the prayers of the priest as if he does not know what he is hearing. He puts his head down to the ruby surface of the wine as if he were putting his head on the block, and he sucks great gulps of it as if he would drink the danger away. Then he thrusts out his hands in the signal of assent, and the two men take his head and, holding him by the hair and the collar, plunge him down below the surface, half lifting him from the floor so his legs kick as if he is swimming. I just want to tell you guys that I didn't know this would be cruel. I hate cruel. But I think I will not read this book. So where did we stop? And the wine is slopped on the floor as he reads, trying to escape. The wine cascades around their feet as the air bubbles out of him in great retching whoops. The priest steps back from the red bottle and goes on reading the last reads, his voice steady and reverent, while the two executioners hold the failing head of the most stupid son of York deep into the barrel until his feet hang slack and there are no more bubbles of air, and the room smells like an old tap room. That night at midnight I get up from my bed in the Palace of Westminster and go to my dressing room. On the top of a long cupboard for my furs is a little box with my private things. I open it. Inside is an old locket of silver so tarnished with age that is black as ebony. I open the catch and there is the old scrap of paper torn from the bottom of my father's letter. On it, written in my blood is the name George, Duke of Clarence. I screw the paper up in my fingers and I throw it on the embers of the fire and watch it twist in the heat of the ashes, and then suddenly spring into flame. So go, I say, as George's name goes up in smoke and my curse on him is completed. But let you be the last York who dies in the Tower of London. Let it end here, as I promised my mother it would. Let it finish here. I wish I had remembered, as she taught me, and that it is easier to unleash evil than call it back again. Any fool can blow up our wind, so who can know where it will blow or when it will stop? I have my boy Edward, my son, Sir Richard Grey, and my brother Tony, come to my private apartments for me to say goodbye to them. I cannot bear to let them go from me in public. I don't want to be seen to weep as they leave. I bent to hold Edward close as if I would never be parted from him, and he looks at me with his warm brown eyes and holds my face in his little hands and says, "Don't cry, Mama. There is nothing to cry about. I shall come again next Christmas, and you can visit me at Ludlow. You know." "I know," I say. "And if you bring George, then I will teach him how to ride. He promises me, and you can put young Richard into my keeping, you know." "I know." I try to speak clearly, but the tears are in my voice. Richard hugs me around the waist. He is as tall as me now, a young man. "I will care for him," he says. "You must visit us. Bring all my brothers and sisters. Come for the summer." Owls, I say, and turn to my brother Anthony. "Trust us to take care of ourselves," he says, before I can even start the list of things that make me fearful. "And I will bring him safe home to you next year, and I will not leave him, not even for Jerusalem. I will not leave him till he commands me to go. All right." I nod, blinking away my tears. There is something that troubles me at the thought of Edward letting Anthony go from him. It is as if a shadow has fallen on us. I don't know why. I just always fear for him so much whenever I have to say goodbye to the three of you. I can hardly bear to let him go. I will guard him with my life. Anthony promises he is as dear to me as life itself. No harm will come to him while he is in my keeping. You have my word. He bows and turns to the door. Edward, beside him, does a mirror copy of the graceful gesture. Richard, my son, puts his fist to his chest in the salute that means "I love you." "Be happy," Anthony says. "I have your boys safe. Then they are gone from me." Okay, guys. My leg hurts. So, have a nice night, dears, and or rest of your day. And I'm sorry